I have to just preface this video and tell you guys that the audio is awful in all of the shots. Like, I don't know why. Even in this audio, there's going to be this weird buzzing noise. I can't hear it out here, so I don't know why it's coming up in this audio, but in all the shots there's some background noise, or you can't hear me properly, or I'm on a main road, or I'm just not good at being a YouTuber, and I don't have any eyebrows right now, and just my life isn't together, so give me a break. I hope you do enjoy this video though. I'm sorry. If you don't, if it gets too annoying, don't watch it. Like, hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if you weren't aware, Queen of Shadows is now out. Now there was no unboxing for this because I basically yeeted into Dimex faster than I ever had. Picked it up, bought it, and left within the space of 20 seconds. Here it is. I am so nervous for this. We left on the biggest cliffhanger that I think Cassandra Clare has ever done in her writing career. I personally believe that this book series has been one of Cassandra Clare's best. I stan the Infernal Devices, and I always will, but this book series has been a masterpiece. She has grown so much as a writer, and this book I'm expecting to be one of her best, so I've got very high expectations, so we will see if I am let down or not. I shouldn't have to really say this, but if you know the drill and you watch my previous book review read along of Kingdom of Ash, you know that this video is going to be packed full of spoilers. I didn't come here to save you guys. Yeah, I guess we should just start reading, so stay tuned, I guess. Okay, so let's be real. I bought this book over a week ago. I read the first chapter, and it's already so draining. It introduces you to, like, Julian and everyone, like, reacting after Livy's death, and oh my Jesus, it is going to take me an incredibly long time to get through this book. So I've only read up to page 40, but I just found another little addition that's quite fun. So they have these, like, illustrations, and I'm pretty sure that all of those, like, black pages are illustrations. And it, like, applies to what's written on the page, and I think that's really cool. Okay, so we already knew that Kit could see ghosts, but he just saw Robert Lightwood's dead Parabatai as a ghost walk up to, like, the Lightwood family. That's, one, wild, but, like, I need answers. So, Jem and Tessa are pregnant. That's really, really cool, and that gave me little butterflies and made me smile a lot, so great. And Jem called Emma May May, or however it's pronounced with the accent, and that translates to younger sister, so I thought that was pretty cute. Ty is scheming with Kit to bring Livy back from the dead, and that's why he climbed up the pier to get the necklace back, and you know, we all know that this is going to end badly, so I can't wait to see how that unfolds and how Julian's going to react when he finds out that this scheme was taking place in the first place. I'm shipping the hell out of Ty and Kit. Even if they're like Parabatai, or if they end up like dating and being together, like either way, that duo, that like connection, that friendship, amazing. Like they bounce off each other so well, and I'm so happy with how it's developing. Yes! So Julian put this like blanket over his emotions so that he wasn't in love with Emma anymore, and I don't really know how it works. Not really sure if it's like the Vampire Diaries where you just like compel your emotions away. Yeah, he like knows that he was in love with Tessa, but he just can't feel it anymore, and he thinks that that's gonna like save the curse from happening or something like that. Right guys, so I've had a couple more developments. I have to say I'm loving all the little references that you wouldn't understand unless you watch the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. I'm really loving that. For example, Simon pulled out a little Lord Montgomery figurine because it was iron and Julian needed it going to ferry. Isabella's just gone, oh my god. That was a fan tribute and I loved it. It was beautiful. Okay, we need to talk about Mark and Christina for a second because this is getting crazy. Mark and Christina just had like this really sexy experience on the beach because apparently everyone who lives in the LA Institute wants to get together with their SO on that beach. Guess it's just that kind of beach. So that happened and they were gonna do the deed, and they didn't because Mark said that he didn't have his stele and neither did Christina, and they go back to the Institute and Christina notices that Mark just pulls out his stele and opens the door. That causes some tension, and then Christina proceeds to have a dream about her, Mark, and Kieran together. And that's a bit fun and fresh. We really need to talk about Julian because he's losing his mind. He killed Dane. He just killed a shadow hunter, and obviously this isn't good. Magnus said that there would be side effects. I think it's going to be something like when you feel so passionately, like the opposite is like really bad. And I'm not okay with it. No one's really okay with it. We'll see what happens with that. Kit and Ty just went to the shadow market and couldn't get in because Kit wouldn't say the password. I really want to know what the password is. Okay, so I really needed to just quickly vent about what the hell is going on because you can only destroy the Parabate curse with the mortal sword. And guess what just got destroyed? I'm up to chapter 10, just if you were wondering, and I'm really loving Christina, Mark and Kieran, and I really hope that they make this three-way work because I am actually adoring the hell out of it. I have to also just mention how long her chapters are. Like, I feel like I've been reading forever and I'm only up to chapter 10. Julian. That Faye, he flat out lied to Emma, and that is not what he's about, and I'm just really afraid he's going to the dark side, and that the curse is still in action, and this is the problem, is that Julian is losing his mind, which is not ideal. Also, Diana and Gwyn are a ship made in heaven, and I am living for that. Okay, so just had some serious tea. Christina and Kieran just had a little sneaky pash in Fairy. Okay, so Emma and Julian just found out that Ash is Sebastian Morgenstern's son. I've known this for so long that this wasn't a shock to me. I don't remember if we were like actually told this already, but I just knew. Now it's 100% confirmed. I love how instead of being angry at Christina and Kieran for kissing, Mark is just like, well, Kieran better be panicking about where Christina is considering they were just kissing. Okay, oh my god, okay, sorry. Kieran and Mark just got to the Unseelie court and they were supposed to walk down this alley of all the civilians and stuff, and Kieran thought that they were gonna like throw rocks at him and whip him and everything because that's what he deserves and that's what his father would have wanted and all that kind of stuff. Him and Mark were walking through and he was like bracing himself and he looked like really sad and all that kind of stuff, and then all of the civilians like whispering how lovely he was and like all the things he'd done. He gave me bread when I was starving, he intervened with the king's redcaps had taken my farm, he saved my husband from execution, he took responsibility for a crime my child committed, just like a bunch of things, and it's just also Kieran just told Mark that he loved him and that he could never be done with him. Look, things are looking up for my dream of this becoming real. Okay, so Emma and Julian just got captured trying to save Ash and got thrown into a huge cage. And guess who was in the cage with them? Jason Clary! Yeah. So there was a big riot in the throne room of the Unseelie King's court, and basically all hell literally broke loose. Literally. So the king opened this portal that on the other side of it would kill Nephilim, like it's a poisonous world basically. And the king was trying to force Ash to kill Kieran because he had to spill royal blood, and then Annabelle was like, no, he's a child, and they jumped through the portal to try and escape that. And the black book goes with Annabelle through that because it was in her jacket pocket. And then Kieran kills the king. He throws his elf ball arrowhead into the king's throat and he dies and then catches on fire. Emma and Julian go through the portal as well and they'll probably die there, which is awesome and promising, and I love it, I can't wait. And they've just announced as well that Oban is king. So I don't really know where that's going to go, where that's going to take us, but we will see soon. Through the portal is Thule, and Thule is basically where Sebastian won the Dark War from the Mortal Instruments. And pretty much every single thing is the opposite of what it is in the normal world. So I'm pretty sure that when they went through the portal, all of the magic was stripped from them because their runes don't work, and all of Julian's emotions flooded back, and now he like threw up, and I think he's feeling again, which is good. It's a good thing. Obviously Sebastian's there because he won the war in this version of the world. Jace is on his side. Emma and Julian are there and they're in dark and in love and PDAing, and it's kind of gross. Jace kills Maurice. Livia is alive, and her and Cameron are now found Julian and Emma, took them back to wherever they went. Emma and Julian are trying to convince Livy that they're like the real Emma and Julian, and Livy's like, no, what the hell? Magnus knew that he was turning into a demon because all the warlocks either became demons or died. Got Alec to kill him, and then Alec killed himself as well. Raphael is alive. Ty is dead. And I'm actually feeling pretty optimistic about this because they could potentially just bring Livy back with them. Like, from this world. She's alive and well. She's a lot older now, but instead of Ty trying to resurrect the dead Livy, they could just bring this Livy back with them, and maybe she could be a shadow hunter again. I don't really know how it works just yet. This also could mean that Ty's plan might work because that Livy could come back, but then it might not work because what if the wrong Livy comes back, considering apparently now there are multiple versions of everyone. But the good thing is there's only one version of Ash because the Seelie Queen was killed in the Dark War and the Unseelie King did not die. So there was no Ash because they didn't have a kid. But now Ash is in that world as well. And this is what Livy looks like in the Undarkened world, apparently. So apparently in Thule, Jem is dead, and I'm feeling kind of attacked right now. Stop coming after my baby, he's been through enough, thanks. Yeah, cool, so Isabel's dead too, awesome. So, you guys remember Annabelle? Yeah, well, she's dead now. Feel old yet? There was this really big battle in Thule, and alternate dimension, Cameron got locked in the Silent City forever, Sebastian was killed by Emma, cut his head off, and then Julian stabbed Isabel in the chest with the mortal sword, just like she did to Livy, and I was kind of a bit shook at the parallels, and I was impressed, and it was all a big explosion of emotions. And then they yeeted through the portal again, they left Ash behind, they forgot about the black volume of the dead. I think they didn't actually say anything about that, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Aline is really, really, really annoying, and she needs to just shut up, okay? She's really irritating me at this point. Julian and Emma got a little freaky in Thule and did some, things. So, Christina, Kieran, and Mark, they're all together, and they're all aware of the fact that they're meant to be together, all three of them. Everyone is saying that Jace and Clary are dead, which they clearly aren't because they're in the LA Institute having a good time. Zara Dearborn just showed up at the LA Institute and basically verbally abused Emma because they didn't show up at Idris when they were supposed to report back their loyalty, basically, to the Clave. Emma was sick of this, so she tried to fight Zara and had to stop because Zara had Cortana and Emma was very emotional about that. So she could have killed Zara but didn't because she obviously won the fight, and then Zara left. Julian then proceeded to summon all of his loyal Shadowhunters and Downworlders to the LA Institute. So there's like a bunch of people now at the LA Institute who are all on Julian's side. He did this because he was head of the Institute in Arthur's Place for such a long time that he had all these connections. Zara was implying that there was going to be some kind of war. I'm kind of unsure about this, but we will see what happens. Julian painted this wartime banner and it looks gorgeous. So that's awesome. He just revealed that to all the people that he summoned. Everything's going well. I also forgot to mention this before, but Kit and Ty and Drew went down to the cave to talk to Malcolm Shade about doing the spell because I had all the ingredients, and Malcolm just told Ty that he wouldn't do it. He genuinely thought that they wouldn't get all the ingredients, and they did, and now he refuses to do the spell because it's like the most awful thing ever. Ty just kind of like accepted it and went back with Drew and watched movies that night. I'm really worried because obviously Ty was extremely into this plan, and there's no way that he's just going to forget about it and move on with it that quickly. In Thule, Diana described, their runes began to burn like fire, as if they had fire in their veins instead of blood. Black lines spread over their bodies and they became monstrous, physically monstrous. So Emma is now standing outside of the Institute, and it says, across the inside of her forearm where the skin had been pale and smooth was a dark webbing of black lines like cracks in marble, nearly the size of the palm of her hand. And then they hit me with that part 3 shit. There is only that much left. And I genuinely don't know if that is enough to fix everything that is going on right now, because Annabelle apparently might still be alive, but I'm not sure if she is, and I'm really confused. She posed as a Shadowhunter in the meeting and just went back and told Zara Dearborn and Horace and people that Jason Clare is still alive, and it's just a mess. Everything is a mess, and I only have 7 chapters left, and that is just over 200 pages. It's a big, shorter chapters, woman! Mark, Christina, and Kieran are all officially together. Everyone is, they've all had a conversation together, and they've all said that they all want the other two, and that they're all in love, and everything fell into place beautifully. Ty finally raised Livy from the dead. Sort of. Find out the reason that Ty was like more okay than he should have been about Malcolm not helping them was because he went to the shadow market and got an alternative power source, and it was corrupted. Kit and Ty went to Lake Lynn and performed the spell, and then Kit tried to stop Ty by tackling him. And Ty and Kit got into this really big fight, And then they actually raised Livy, but as a ghost. She like rose out of the lake and was like, there'll be consequences for this. You can't borrow from the dead. You can only pay. Disappeared. And then now there's a lot of tension between Ty and Kit. But the biggest thing that happened was that Kit told Ty he loved him. I don't know what that means. I don't think Kit even really knows what that means, but we will obviously find out soon, hopefully. Meanwhile, Emma took the mortal sword into the Silent City, recovered the original Tarabatai rune, and nearly destroyed it. She raised the sword and was like about to cut it and destroy all the Tarabatai runes, but then Julian came in and stopped her and was like, no, you can't, wait one more day, we have to be strong tomorrow. Tarabatai rune still intact, but she was very close. There's this big projection meeting going on. Horace and Zara were talking to Oban, the new king of the Unseelie King, and Emma out here using the Force or some shit. Katana flew out of Zara's hands and straight into Emma's hands, and now Emma has Katana back, and that's a good thing. A few big things just happened. Christina just killed Oban, which means Kieran's king now, and all of Oban's followers now bowing to Kieran, so that's really cool. Power just exploded from Kit. Kit and Ty were meant to stay away from the battle but got free because Livy's ghost let them go. Kit was going to fight these riders who had come for him because apparently his mum was a fairy or something like that. It hasn't been completely explained yet. White light exploded from his hands and now he's like completely fainted and all that. So, wild. I really want to know what Kit is. This is killing me. So, Zara just stabbed Emma's knife into Emma's chest. That isn't good. Okay, so Emma was like dead, and then Julian was like remembering Emma and like all of their memories together just as friends and like all these things, and then her eyes just like flew open and she says, I remember, and then Julian was like, should I stop? And she goes, no, and then she's like, let us burn. Emma and Julian just erupted into heavenly fire, became giants or true Nephilim, snapped Horace in half, snapped Gladstone's neck, threw Jace across the thing and he nearly died. Vanessa Ashdown was yeeted 20 feet. Emma and Julian killed the riders of Manon, and to bring them back down to earth, the Blackthorn family, along with Christina and Aline and just like all the friends, family, were trying to walk through to get Emma and Julian. The Wild Hunt came down and made the path through all the other Shadow Hunters. They got to Emma and Julian and basically started saying, who's gonna do this if you're gone? Who's gonna do this if you're gone? You're my best friend, you can't go anywhere, and all this kind of stuff. They came back down to earth, and now they just woke up and Jem just told them that they are not Parabata anymore, that the link has been severed. Now that Emma and Julian aren't Parvati anymore, I really hope that Mark and Julian can be Parvati and Emma and Christina, because that would be magically beautiful. Turns out Kit can see ghosts and all this stuff because he is the direct descendant of the Unseelie King and the Seelie Queen's first daughter, who they faked the death of because the king wanted a son and all that. Because they blessed her when the Seelie Queen was pregnant with her, she was really powerful, and when she had a child with a Shadow Hunter, things all happened, and now Kit is here. It just means that everyone is going to be hunting him now that he has all this power, so they're trying to keep him as hidden as possible. So Jem and Tessa have kindly offered for him to live with them in their house that they're going to build with their new child that Tessa's currently pregnant with. He's left LA, he didn't say goodbye, Ty is spooked. Kieran just left Mark and Christina to go back to Fairy because now that he's king, the longer he's further away from Fairy, his land will become weaker, and he doesn't want that because he wants to be a good king. Now Mark and Christina are very sad. They just voted Alec in for Consul of the Clay. Zara just threatened, along with the rest of the cohort that were on trial, to slit their own throats if everyone who voted for Alec wouldn't leave Alicante immediately. Now, because Alec didn't want Zara to do that, because obviously he's a decent person, everyone is now leaving. Everyone that leaves is not allowed to come back, and everyone that doesn't leave is never allowed to leave. And for some reason, everyone is okay with either option. So, Kieran came back for a little visit, and Magnus and Alec got engaged and married on the same night. Here we are back on that main road we all loved so much. Now that was a damn long ride. I finally finished the book, okay? And let me just tell you, I started reading this on the 5th of December. It is the 22nd of December. I do not know why it took me so long to finish this book, I finished it. There's still this A Love That Never Tires story, a bonus story featuring Clary and Jace. I haven't read that because I just need a minute to let's talk about things. There was a little bit of foreshadowing at the end of there. They want to know why the demon didn't die when it was stabbed with a seraph blade, because obviously all demons die when stabbed with a seraph blade, and this one didn't. Jem was confused, I was confused, everyone was confused. We want to know the answer. In the epilogue, Thule, Jace, and Ash show up at the Silly Queen's court and demand to see Clary, and they request that Ash has a safe place to stay, and obviously the Silly Queen was happy with that because it's her son. But other than that, nothing seriously big happened other than a really wonderful marriage between Magnus and Alec. Emma and Julian are happy and they're going to travel the world together and everything is beautiful. Kit has gone with Jem and Tessa, and Ty has decided to go to the Skullman's. He told Julian and Julian was okay with it, and that's great. Livy's ghost is hanging around. Ty gets to see her, Kit gets to see her even though Kit's leaving, but that's awesome, I guess. But it was a beautiful book. It was written amazingly, it complements the other two beautifully, and honestly, so many emotions. That's why it took me so long to read, because it is quite draining. Like, it took me a really long time to get through it. And her chapters are just so long. Like, the last chapter, it has 34 chapters, and the last chapter was 40 pages long. 40 of them. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot longer than my last one, but you know what? That's what you get when there's a lot of things going on in one book. And there was a lot that went on in this book. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, you can check out my other one. I reviewed Kingdom of Ash. It is somewhere on my channel. Go find it if you want to. And I will catch you in my next video.